Welcome to Creative Tien channel. Today I'm going to show you how I wind my yarn into cakes and review my yarn holder and my yarn winder. Here is my yarn holder or the yarn swift, and this one is very small. You can store it in the plastic tube and it doesn't take too much space. And this is made of metal, so it's pretty sturdy. I will place the link in the description box below if you are interested. Let me open this up. You can turn the knob here and the whole thing is loosened. And there's another knob here. You can adjust the depth for this one. And you can clamp it to the side of the table. It's better if your desk has straight angle and not a curved shape. So I'm going to mount it on this desk. For this one, they say you can mount it horizontally too, and that's an interesting position. It might fit your space better. I like the option of mounting it straight or horizontally. I'm going to mount it straight here. Just tighten the knob on the top. And to secure the vertical part, you have to tighten this knob. And I really like this yarn swift because it looks sturdy, it doesn't take a lot of space, and it's pretty cheap compared to those wooden yarn swift. And to open it up, there's a little clip type of thing you can just press and lift up, and it's like an umbrella. You can adjust the size. If your yarn is bigger, larger in diameter, you can open up higher. So that's very easy to adjust. And after you're done, you can just turn the knob on the top very easily. Another must-have to wind the yarn is a yarn winder. My last one broke in this part, so I decided to get a sturdy one. And you can see the gears here. It looks pretty sturdy, and this part is all made of metal, and this part is deep enough for even thick tables. So I'm going to set it up on my table. You just wind it up from below. And I make sure this yarn winder is big enough for bigger skeins of yarn, because if it's too small, you will have to wind into several smaller cakes, and that means there will be more joints when you are doing the project. So bigger is better for me here. And you can see this one is very sturdy. Even my table has some curve on the edge. It's still pretty stable. So let's try wind some yarns. I have the Cloudbone Merino Superwash Sock Twist yarn here, and I'm going to place it on the yarn swift. We open up carefully, and we have to cut the ties. Different manufacturer will have different ties. Let me take out the label first. Some of them have 2, some of them have 3 or more ties. When you lay it on the table, you can see there's a top and bottom side, and you will try to match on every ties. For example, this one, the top, if you follow the line, this side should be the top. So when we place on the swift, it will be easier. It will not be twisted. They tie it into 3 parts. And we try to keep it in the order. Usually one of the tie is the beginning and end of the yarn. I will just cut it And the other ties, it will be just an individual piece. You can cut it out. See, here is a small piece of yarn tying the other side. So for this one, I only have 2 ties, and I will place it on the yarn swift. The yarn will be in the middle of the 2 triangles. So you make sure you leave this up to adjust the size, make it a little bit tight so it doesn't fall out. And we try to make sure it's not twisted. The top is the top side, like the way it's tied. If it's twisted, it tends to get tangled later. And see where is the beginning. Here is one of the yarn end. And that's the other one. This one seems to be closer to the outside, so I will use this one. This one is in the bottom. I will keep it in the bottom. Just try to place it out of the way and make sure it's a little bit tight. Now this part is done, and we will take the yarn, wind it through yarn winder. For this one, there are only 2 loops. One is here, the other one is here. I'll go through this one first. Now we are in, and then we continue, go to the other loop. Some yarn winder will have 3 points you have to loop, and just place a yarn end on top of the cone. There's a slit here, so now it's secure. We have it connect to the yarn swift, and we can start winding the yarn. So it's very easy. You just start turning this, and your yarn swift will start to turn. And you will wind into cakes very neatly. And you can do it very fast. This saves a lot of time for me to hand wind the yarn. So it's a very useful tool, especially if you machine knit. After you are done, make sure you take out the center yarn end, and then you can take the whole thing out. Now you have a nice yarn cake. And I like to pull it from the center so the whole thing doesn't roll everywhere. The other type of yarn is a yarn ball or something like this. It's not a skein, so we don't need a yarn swift, but we can still wind this into cakes. I have a Nick Peak yarn here. I take out the label. And I have another toy here. This is called a yarn spindle. So when you place the yarn, it spins. This one is very simple design. You just place on top, and then you will spin. And you can have 2 different yarns at the same time. So if you want to do the color works, it's very convenient. For winding into the cake, I try to find the outermost yarn end first. And I can just place it here. And the rod will spin too. And we can connect the yarn the same way. First, go through this one. And then the second loop. And then go to the center. We can start winding. First, we turn slowly. You can adjust the location of this yarn spindle. Now we just made another cake from the yarn. It's very convenient to have all the right tools to make your knitting or crochet project more enjoyable. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time.